Last Christmas was the worst Christmas I've ever had. I had found some way to implode everything around me in one weekend and ruin Christmas for my wife and my children and myself. So I grew up right here in Northwest Indiana. Grew up going to church. Went to Christian grade schools, went to Christian high school. That's where I met my wife, Brianne. Had children by the time I was 23. So we got started really early in life. I was your typical young adult. I liked to party. I liked to, I smoked, I drank, I drank a lot. Pretty much everything I did involved having a drink beside me. So as I got older, as we had more children and as life got more complicated, we hit our bumps in the road, and I would use alcohol to cope. All of a sudden, here I am, 30 years old, and I can't even mow the lawn without picking up a beer first. I can't talk to my wife about something important without having a buzz. It became like it was this catalyst for everything pertinent to life itself. Yeah, so we started going to Faith Church because of how large the congregation was, and with this idea of we can just kind of get lost in the shuffle and, go to church on Sunday morning, and everybody will leave us alone the rest of the week. When Faith Hammond launched 3 years ago, Easter, and I jumped in to set up and tear down like full bore there every Sunday morning. When I first started doing it, like I said, maybe my desires weren't in the right place, but the important thing was that I got connected with people, and I guarantee the people I got connected with, we weren't all these super Christian guys either. Some of these guys are just as lost as I am. Little did I know that the relationships I was building was God's way of preparing me to be opened up like a book. He was preparing me to unveil my true self, and I was starting to give up to him things. But there was still that one thing that I knew I had, which was my alcoholism, that I was not willing to give to him. And it was almost as if I said it verbally to him, Lord, I know that I've got this big thing here, but that's mine, and I'll deal with that in my own time, And he had different plans. So I tried quitting drinking for a week. I tried quitting drinking for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. None of those things worked. I kept drinking, and had a few meltdowns, and then about almost a year now, I had my most recent meltdown. I started hitting rock bottom again. I was drinking excessively. I had found out my wife was pregnant with her 5th child, and my world just kind of started collapsing, and I was already not good at handling stress. So I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. I definitely can't do it without a drink. It got to that point. It got to that crossroads where it was like my wife couldn't do it anymore. I obviously couldn't do it anymore. And God was telling me, Charles, this is it. You need to make a decision. Which way are you going? And that was the first time I ever, literally looked at God in the face and said, Lord, I'm an alcoholic. I need your help. I'm powerless. I can't do it anymore. Here you go. Here's everything I am, everything I've worked for. Here's all my messes. I didn't have any other choices. And he showed up big. He showed up, and he picked me up and carried me through all the crud, through all the hard junk of getting sober and restoring, getting honest with myself and others. And then, about a month after I made that decision, I had a brain aneurysm, so that was a big deal. I should have died. The only explanation I can give, and I've been given so far, is that it's a miracle. And the most remarkable thing for me, and the reason I'm okay with talking about it, is the life I had created for myself leading up to it was horrible. I had done horrible things. I had acted in horrible ways. And it's like when my aneurysm happened, it's like I woke up to like this, like, okay, you get to start over, Charles. And I can't put into words how grateful I am for that.
You can rise up from the ashes, make something beautiful of all the broken pieces. And I'm believing you'll come running into the arms of Jesus. You were made to shine. You were made for life. Even if you've lost your way, turn and you will hear love say, you were made for more, so much more. Child of everlasting light, made you blaze away the night. So baby, burn bright, burn bright.
And now here we are, 2013, Christmas Day. You know, we have our 5th child now. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I'm sober. So many things are different. But it does allow me to look back. 2012, 1 year ago, I was living for myself. Life revolved around me. Every aspect of it revolved around Charles. Now, by the grace of God, I'm starting to learn how to live this life that doesn't revolve around Charles anymore. It revolves around Jesus. Being able to fully wrap my head around, you know, like, this is the celebration of the birth of my Savior. This is the celebration of the day that it all started for me. You know, I would say, you know, what do I reflect on, like, this Christmas? It's all about Christ and what he did for me on that cross. You know, it starts today, and it's not going to be over until he comes back. So what can I do to live in his story? You know, where's my place in his kingdom now that I've been, you know, I'm just honored to be a part of?